Is it worth buying cheap cards from Cardmarket to resell on eBay? Okay, so in front of me we have my most recent Cardmarket purchase. Now, when I shop around on Cardmarket, I tend to have a structure in place. And for myself, I look for artists. So anything from Kamir, Yukamori, Asako Ito, and Soso cards. Recently, I've started to look for cameo cards because I believe cameo cards are going to be something that's sought after. I mean, they already are. However, I feel like as time goes on, more and more people are going to start collecting cameo cards as well. By cameo, I mean, let's say this Ghastly, for example. In the top right, there is a cameo, another Pokemon, basically. So, when I shop on Cardmarket, what is it I am really looking for? So anything cheap, because obviously you want to make as much money as you can, right? Um, and secondly, I want as many cards from one seller as I possibly can get, because postage fees is what can kill, like it can completely destroy what it is you're trying to buy off Cardmarket. Now there are a few things you can do to kind of counteract that. So say, for example, let's say I found a seller and I wanted, I don't know, 15 of these espers. A seller had 15 of these espers. However, he didn't have any other card that I needed from any other artist. What I would then do is look into the seller's other cards that I could possibly sell as like a bulk collection. So, for example, these Slowpokes, the Psyducks, like Slow Bros, any kind of like popular card that you can sell in like a bundle of 10, 15 cards. So yeah, that's my way, or at least my thought process when it comes to buying from one seller who only has one of the cards. Now, best case scenario, a seller has numerous of the cards that you're after. And then that's just, that's just a win. So most of the time when I'm shopping on Cardmarket, I am just looking for the cheaper cards, because when it gets to the more expensive cards, the majority of sellers tend to have their wits about them with the price of the cards. So it's near on impossible to kind of look for IRs, SIRs, etc. on Cardmarket. Sometimes you can find a good deal. Like for example, I bought these Snorlax cards for £15, and they're upwards of like £30, I believe, now currently on eBay. And that card's just going to keep going up. It's got two Pikachu's in it, and it's a Snorlax card. It's a cool card. One in every like 100 purchases, you'll probably find something like that good of a deal. So yeah, when you're shopping on Cardmarket, just make sure you've got a structure in place, because if you don't and you just go in and purchase anything and everything, it doesn't always work out, and it can be very difficult. Like let's say you've got a budget of £50. You want to either find a Pokemon that is popular, Rayquaza, Snorlax, Pikachu, the obvious one, Magikarp, Psyducks, any Pokemon that's like very popular and collectible, and then go onto Cardmarket and make a wants list. And once you do that, so you go onto a seller's selling page, and then you can filter it by your wants, so you can see how many of the cards that you want the seller has, which is a really good feature. But yeah, is it worth buying from Cardmarket and selling onto eBay? I would say yes, for two reasons. One, you get to appreciate, like, especially if you're truly into the hobby, you get to appreciate certain cards more than what you maybe would have if you were just opening a pack hoping for a big hit. And two, yeah, it's satisfying, especially when you're going through cards and, like I just mentioned, you're appreciating artwork a lot more, but then you're opening your horizons to other Pokemon, and like it's a strange feeling, but it does happen, because before, like for example, these Ghastly cards, right, that I showed you earlier, I wouldn't have appreciated the cameo, but now I do. It's cool, and there are a few more cameos in here that I have, like this Snorunt. There's a Pikachu cameo, and I wouldn't have appreciated that before. However, now I do, and it's cool. It's a cool cameo. This Rotom, there is literally a Pikachu cameo in the dead center of the card. It's very tiny. Whether or not that will come out on camera, I don't know. This Harlequin, obviously a massive Pikachu cameo in it. It's pretty cool. The Lapras has the trainer cameos, more trainer cameos. The Wailord has the cameo. Obviously, the Arrokuda, and then I'm pretty sure the Arrokuda and the Cramorant is like a match cameo where the Cramorant is eating the Arrokuda, and in the Arrokuda card, the Cramorant's diving into the water to get the Arrokuda. We have the Sneasel as well. Yeah, there are so many cool like cameos, like this Slurpuff, for example. There's literally Pikachu cookies, and it's classed as a cameo. And same with this Whimsicott. I'm not too sure what the cameo is, but if you look on the bed, like the red bed, there's definitely a cameo there. I don't know who the Pokemon is. I don't know who it is, but it's there. Yeah, so it kind of broadens your horizons a bit more when you start looking into the cheaper cards. And like I said, you start to appreciate more cards that way. Especially the artists. Like this Bronzor art is so clean. Like it's so good. And if I was just opening a pack, I wouldn't appreciate that as much as I do when I'm looking for cards. And now I'm looking for them. I'm looking for that Bronzor. I'm appreciating the artwork a lot more. So yeah, like I said, it's satisfying in that way. But the overall question, like I said, is it worth it? 100%. At least for the cheaper side of things, like if you're going for the 2p, the 3p cards, like then it's worth it. If you're going for the higher end stuff, it's a lot more difficult. It's very hard to find deals. I did find one again recently for a Rayquaza from quite an old set. And obviously we've got the new Rayquaza set coming out soon. So, that card's going to appreciate a little bit more just because of that. But it is very difficult to find good deals on the more expensive cards. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of these cards are going to sit in storage for a while, because they're going to take a while to sell, especially with the amount that I have. However, over time, artist collectors are going to keep coming in, and they're going to want a certain card, and it will be the cards that you wouldn't expect, like the Bronzor, like the Murkrow. They're just going to sell over time. Like this Machop will sell over time, and it's a long game. That's what I would say. If you're purchasing from Cardmarket to sell on eBay, don't expect to sell, 100 cards a day. Don't expect to sell 10 cards a day. Don't even expect to sell one card. Unless you have like tens of thousands of listings, you're going to struggle to sell, even one card a day. It's a long game, and you need to expect that. So yeah, in my opinion, low end singles, it's great. It's good for the hobby, and it gets you appreciating it more. So yeah, if you want to get into it, definitely do, and just make sure you got a structure in place, because if you don't, you will struggle. Like you'll struggle big time, and you don't want that, especially on top of how difficult it is already. It's hard. So expect nothing. Be happy when something does happen. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe if you're new around here. And yeah, drop a like, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the next video.